Hey there, and welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. I'm your girl Rashida, and today we are cooking. Guess what, y'all? Stuffed peppers. That's right, these yummy, delicious stuffed peppers are a great dinner meal, and I'm going to show you how to get them started. Let's go. Alrighty, here's some of my ingredients. Of course, I'm making stuffed peppers, so I have peppers. I have onions, some diced tomatoes, some ground beef, Italian sausage, cheese, Monterey Jack Italian cheese, and some seasonings. First things first, I'm gonna start shredding my Monterey Jack cheese. I'm gonna do a cup of this and a cup of the Italian cheese also, but it's already pre-shredded. So I'm just shredding that Monterey Jack about a good cup. I would say you never can have too much cheese, but that's all we need for right now. That's my cheese shredded. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in a bowl and place it to the side. And then get ready to, I'm gonna do quite a bit of dicing and chopping. It's a lot of prep work for the stuffed peppers, but it's definitely worth it. Let's start off with this yellow onion. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a fine dice, probably about a half a cup worth of onion. So this is how I cut my onion. I just score it down crossways and then I just start slicing. Okay, I'm coming to an end of dicing up this onion. And then next up is we're going to get ready to slice up the peppers. Now, what I'm doing differently with stuffed peppers is I'm cutting them in half and I'm using the ring and then I'm using the bottom. But most stuffed peppers, you just cut off the top and you use the whole pepper. So that's an alternate way. This time I didn't want as much, so I just wanted to try them in smaller portions. So, if you ever used a pepper in the past, if you ever cook with a pepper, that it just has those seeds in the middle. So it's so easy. Just cut off the top and just pull those seeds right out. They come out very easily. Then I'll just cut off any excess and just go from there. So this will make about 6 portions, 6 stuffed peppers. Now the filling I'm making is going to make enough for, let's just say I made plenty enough filling. So definitely can just freeze the rest of the filling and make some more peppers in the future is what I plan to do. But anyway, on from here, I'm cutting up and you see I used a variety of colors. I used the yellow, the orange, the red. Those are your sweet peppers. So those are the ones that I recommend. You do have the green pepper, but that's a little stronger in flavor. So I do recommend using your reds, your yellows, or your orange peppers for sweet peppers. Now, one thing about the peppers is that it takes them a while to cook. So I'm going to pre-cook the peppers for about 10 to 15 minutes just to start to soften them up before I even put the filling in them. But right now, okay, I have all my slices diced, cut up. Peppers are ready to go into the casserole dish. And I'm just gonna assembly those, not assembly, Lord. Just place those in the casserole dish and prepare these to go in the oven. But real quick, I'm gonna sit those to the side, and the tops of those peppers, I'm just going to dice a couple parts of them to go into the filling. So I'm just dicing up some of those peppers to add to the onions. And also I have 2 cloves of chopped garlic over there. And these are going to be mixed into the meat filling that's going into the stuffed peppers. So there you go. Added in some extra peppers. And now it's time to get the peppers ready to go in the oven and pre-cook for about 15 minutes. I'm just spraying those down with olive oil. My oven is at 425 and I'm going to cook these for 15 minutes just to go ahead and soften them up so they won't be so crunchy. Because sometimes if you don't pre-cook them, your can still be very crunchy, and so I want it to be soft. Moving along, now it's time to cook the meats that's going into the fillings of the peppers. And I have my ground beef and I have my Italian sausage, and I am cooking those together for about 10 minutes. We want those to cook till they're thoroughly cooked. I wish I had one of those little meat mashers. I'm gonna have to invest in one. But for right now, I'll just use what I have. So I have the ground beef, once again, the sweet Italian sausage, but you can definitely use the hot Italian sausage if you like, and that'll just give it a bit more spice, a bit more flavor in your peppers. I think it will work perfectly fine. So once I get all my meat in the pan, now it's time to cook it, brown it till it's completely done. So go ahead and just watch the process. I'm sure you have browned and cooked meat before, but if you haven't, you can watch the process in this video. And I'll just be mixing it up and mixing it up till it's all well combined. Okay, our ground beef sausage mixture is coming together well. It's almost there. It's about halfway through the cooking process. And just continue to stir it and mix it up. Okay, meat cooked. On to the next thing, and that's just adding in the onions, the garlic, and the peppers to cook a little further for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'll be also adding in my seasonings. We gotta bring the flavors up. We gotta bring the flavors up a notch. And so that's where the seasonings come in. But this is good. The onions, the garlic, the peppers, that's flavor right there. So we're layering our flavors, and these are going to just make our stuffed peppers that much greater. And I'm using some basic seasonings that everybody probably has, or you might have in your cabinet, some Italian seasoning. Also adding in some seasoning salt. If you don't have seasoning salt, just salt and pepper will work just fine. I have some dried basil and some dried oregano and some garlic powder. So those are the seasonings that are going into this dish. And I would say, if I were measuring, about a half a teaspoon of each. So we did the Italian seasoning, the garlic powder, dried basil, dried oregano, and some seasoning salt, of course. So that's what we have right now cooked up. Now we're going on to the next thing, and that is the diced tomatoes. I prefer petite diced tomatoes, but if you like regular, that's fine too. We're just going to use 1 can of those and just give those a good mix. Next after that is my special ingredient in this dish, and that is some corn. I'm using about a half a cup of corn. I just like that added sweet flavor that it gives to the filling. So we have the corn going in right now. And while I'm mixing this well, let me know your thoughts on stuffed peppers. Have you made them before? Have you had somebody else's that? Let me know what you think about these stuffed peppers. Are you looking forward to making this recipe? I definitely hope so. Right here now I'm adding in just a little bit, about a third cup of marinara sauce, just to give it a little bit more richness and help to bind everything together. Your favorite marinara sauce will work. And last but not least, I'm adding in the rice. It's about a cup and a half. I would say about a cup and a half of rice would be just fine. I cook this on the side and just going ahead and adding that in, and that's the filling right there. That is the hearty, delicious filling to our stuffed peppers. So right now is the process. It is the process of stuffing the peppers with this great, delicious, flavorful filling. So I'm going to take a few minutes and just stuff these peppers and get them ready to go back in the oven. They will cook for at least a half an hour. As I'm putting the filling in, that did make me think to just remind you that there are definitely substitutes to this. Instead of the ground beef, you definitely can use some ground turkey. I would say ground chicken. You don't even have to use meat. If you're like a vegetarian, you can just put in some vegetables, maybe some zucchini, mushrooms. Just a variety of vegetables can go well in this also. And yeah, so definitely you customize it to your liking and to what you desire. And I definitely like putting them in these little half peppers, the little rings and the bottoms, because sometimes that's just exact the perfect portion. Sometimes the whole pepper can be quite a lot, and I just like the portions that cutting the pepper in half gives. And once I fill these peppers, then guess what? Ooh, I'm topping it with some of that wonderful, wonderful cheese. Now I have two cheeses that I'm using for this one. I'm using the Monterey Jack and I'm using just an Italian blend. So both of those cheeses are going on top of the peppers, and just liberally, like you want to just put as much as you like on top of the peppers, and it's definitely going to cook in the oven and melt down. So bring on the cheese. Some other substitutes for your cheese might be pepper jack, if you like a little kick, mozzarella for sure. A little mozzarella and parmesan would be, that's a good combination. All right, my peppers are about to go in that oven. Remember, the oven is at 425, already preheated. Piling on the cheese. The peppers look so delicious already, but now we need to go ahead and cook them a little more. And I want to put them in about 30 minutes, keeping an eye on them because the cheese will start to get a little brown. And here we are at the finish line. The stuffed peppers have come out the oven. I like the way they're looking. They are ready to eat for dinner. I'm just adding a little bit of marinara sauce on the bottom just to give it a little extra flavor, just to add a little touch to the bottom of the casserole dish. And that's it. Stuffed peppers are up. Thanks for coming in the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until the next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. See you.